And a horror shark attack at Coogee Beach in Sydney has become the 9th attack reported in Australia since the start of 2026, 4 being fatalities.
Our major beaches remain closed following the incident that left a 35-year-old woman fighting for life in hospital. For more, we're joined now by shark expert Dr. Pepin-Neff. Welcome back to you, Chris. When we've had you on before, you have talked about things like murky water, about, following rain, swimming at dawn and dusk. This was none of those things. This was 11 o'clock in the morning, in between the flags.
Yeah. So I think it's important that Australians steel themselves, because I don't think the national nightmare is over. It's June, so we've got 6 months more of the year to go. And I think the story, unfortunately for this incident, is that the cooler water, 18 degrees Celsius at Coogee yesterday, so warmer air temperature means people want to go in, but the cooler water is bringing the white sharks into the nearshore area. So the white sharks are coming in. I will say white sharks at Coogee is very unusual. It's strange, but 18 degrees is when white sharks come into shore.
Why do they come into shore?
So they like the cooler water. I always say 20 degrees and more, bull sharks, 20 degrees and less, white sharks. So they're doing kind of what they would be predicted to do.
Right.
They're not chasing any migratory like the whales there, extra fish or feed in the area. This is just a freak thing that has to do with the temperature of the water?
Yeah, so the cooler water, they come in, I mean, it can be that there's whale activity, which is also seasonal, which is why we take out the nets at the end of, in April, because we know the whales are coming through. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on, but the water temperature is really the key variable there.
But don't we always have cooler waters at this time of year, but we don't see this?
Well, it's usually colder in Sydney, so there's usually less swimmers in the water as well.
Right.
So, I always say to my friends who are doing climate change, I don't know why they're not talking about this, because it was 21 degrees in Sydney and it's the winter solstice next week.
People are then in the water.
So what are we, people are in the water.
Yeah, gotcha.
So then what is your warning to people now? If the warning was, don't swim when the water's murky, don't swim after rain, swim between the flag, are we adding a warning to that, don't swim when the water's too cold?
I mean, I have said that, first of all, I think 2026 is a nightmare year, so we need to be careful about everything. So I've run out of warnings to give.
Yeah,
we just need to be careful.
So there are calls, and the calls coming from a very powerful source, the twin brother of the shark attack victim who was killed in DY in September. We all remember that one. Now, he is calling on the Min's government to put drones from sunlight to sunset 7 days a week, 365 days a year. What do you think about that?
And I saw Allegra Spender said something similar. It's the winter solstice. It's winter in Australia. If we want to use the ocean 365 days a year, then drones are a good idea. But the ocean is also the wild. It's a wild dynamic ecosystem. It changes every 10 minutes. From the time you get out of the water and towel off to go back in, it's a different ocean. So that ecosystem is changing, and there's not a drone for that. We need to be mindful when we're entering into the beach that it's not a commercial paradise. There's a lot going on.
So, Chris, what we're hearing there is no takeaway from this then. There is no warning. There is nothing that can be done. It is the great unknown. I
mean, my suggestion is going to be the same one I said to you in January when we had the terrible cluster, which is, don't swim alone, swim in an enclosure. I think my recommendation to Mosman City Council was to put in more temporary enclosures on Sunday mornings so nippers can go in and be safe at low tide. I think that's kind of where we should go for 2026.
This idea of actual cages.
That's right.
They're different to nets. They're
there are
actual
31
cages.
enclosures, cages. In Australia. They're already used in other states, including New South Wales. And they work. And you just can't use them at every beach. It's got to be a low-energy beach, not big waves, not a lot of seaweed.
Well, Chris, as always, thank you for your expertise
thank you so much.
Thank you.